releases, those movements where you are letting go of a bar or a limb to change orientation or direction, or to release a limb to get off into a precision landing. Here's what the release looks like. So, as you can see, we're releasing from this bar or from a limb. You're going through a movement, swing, whether it's a tuck swing or forward swing. And at some point, you choose to release from the bar. Let's look at a key few points of the skill. When you're doing your swings, you want to make sure that you have a nice grip and that you're resetting your grip as appropriate when you're on the back side of the swing, like this. This will ensure that you have a nice grip that you can take off from when you actually go to do your release. So, you get yourself a good grip, you swing forward, you let your legs come up and move forward in front of you in sort of an arcing fashion. So your feet will come up and your legs will follow. This arc will allow you to get on top of the landing target that you're shooting for. If you don't do that arc, you'll end up sliding forward, missing your target. So it's much better to come up and land down on your target, just like any other jump you would do. You know, situation dictates, but generally speaking, you want to land on top of your target. Let's check that out at this lower level. All right, so those two key points will set you up for a nice landing. First, doing the regrip, and then following through with a nice arc from your feet all the way through the top of your body. So the other thing you're thinking about, of course, is the actual landing, because it's the most important part of jumping. When you're doing your swings, you want to spot where you want to land. That way you can make a nice precision landing, injury-free. While you're doing your swings, you can go ahead and take your eyes off of that spot if you have it registered in your mind. And when it comes time to do the release, you check it again, and then trust yourself to land on that precision spot that you're looking at. So as you can see, I check the target, I trust myself, and then I do my landing. Doing your landing, you come down on your 4 feet first, and then you sink down to flatten out the rest of your foot. Now you're using this as a shock absorber in the feet to start out with. So it's not a case where you're going to try to suspend yourself in midair unless your surface of support says you have to. Like you're on the edge of something or something is really thin. Otherwise, you plant on the forefoot and then you rest down into a flat foot. The knees sink, the rest of your body adjusts by bringing down and sinking in with your knees and using your dorsiflexion in your feet. The big difference is that your arm movements may not and likely will not be coming down in this fashion. This is your regular general landing. But when you're coming off of a release, your arms are usually up in this fashion. You're releasing the limb, the bar, and they're floating out here. So it's going to be pretty tough to wind them back around and come into that strict general landing. Instead, when your arms are releasing from the bar or the limb, you'll bring them down and let them float and sink in with the rest of your landing, like this. All right, so again, you don't have to worry about this so much. Let them come out and then down as they need to. Now, a nice little drill that I love to do is to find a lower bar. I have one here. You can find them at the playgrounds that are outside. Well, they'll have the different levels of bar. One here, one there, one there. Well, go ahead and grab that lower level or the next one up and use it to just basically jump, grab, swing, release. Use that swing to propel yourself as far or as short as you need to go in order to practice the movement. So that looks a little bit like this. So you're making it a really practical movement. You're not trying to overstress any particular point. You're just trying to get a nice flow out of it. When you do the jump, of course, when you do the jump up from a little bit of a distance. And when you grab the bar, keep your arms tensed. Don't try to straighten your limbs out. Keep them tensed. And you move through the bar, bringing your feet up to create that arc, and then release. So again, you're not trying to do this or this. You're trying to keep your arms bent so you can hold that tension. Another drill that you can go through is to do it from a running start. So you get a little bit of distance, off camera for a moment, take a running start, dive, and do your release. One more time here. From the opposite side. Lots of fun. During the movement, you'll see that you'll need to adjust yourself, minute adjustments in order to keep your equilibrium, to make a correct landing. Sometimes you'll reach out with one side because of what you're jumping off of or a step that you made. And sometimes you'll need to adjust in midair as you make your landing so that you can try to even things out. If it's not perfect, if it's super effective and injury-free, great. So you can look to be as efficient as possible, but just realize this is a real human body with real situation and contextual demands. So take it for what it's worth. It's really great training. Once you felt you've really gotten it down, you're making nice safe landings, you got good sequence and timing on your release, then you can start introducing targets. And as I mentioned before, when you're working with the target, you want to go through the process of seeing the target, you check it out, then you set yourself up to do your swing and release, and then you land safely on the target. That looks like this. You check it, set yourself up, and if you notice, just as I was jumping and started my swing, I checked my target again, went through my arc, released, and landed safely on the target. As you gain skill and competence in the release, you can go ahead and up the ante, again, making those risks something that you're able to actually do in a safe manner, and basically extend your targets from one surface of support to another, or releasing from a surface of support and covering a gap. You can basically just make it more dynamic. But at the minimum, make sure you're keeping it safe. Use the sequence and timing, proper technique, and you should have a whole lot of fun with this.